So, as I was mentioning just a moment ago, Teisha Powell joins us today. Hi, Teisha. How are you?
Doing good.
You look excellent. It looks like you're. It looks like it's a bright, sunny day wherever you are.
I'm on Long Island, John. I got to run this morning, 7 o'clock.
You did a nice run. How many miles you bang out today?
Just two to three, 5 days a week.
2 miles, 5 days a
Yeah,
week.
yeah, nothing much.
That's pretty good. I probably haven't done 2 miles in the last 5 years.
Oh well, summer is coming, so when the
Yeah,
code
yeah,
BD
yeah.
19, when I get to the studio, we can run.
I got it. I got to get my Speedo on this summer.
Yes, so we'll do that after we do liquid lunch. We should just do a run in the city. It's beautiful there in the summer.
So I've been dying to just throw it out there and let you go crazy, but uh, Hillary Clinton endorses Joe Biden.
Can you believe that Hillary Clinton endorses Joe Biden? I mean, isn't this like establishment after establishment after establishment for Joe?
What about the fact that Bernie Sanders said I'm going to suspend my campaign, but I'm going to still remain on the ballot everywhere because I want the more delegates we can get, the more strength we're going to have at the convention to get parts of our platform in. So Bernie still wanted to collect those delegate chips, and now New York says, no primary. So the establishment again, puts the kibosh on Bernie. So the Bernieites have to be furious right now.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is boxed out or boxed in, and the establishment wants Biden to go up against Trump come November.
So how come Joe Biden, so far to date, has never been asked one time the direct question, how do you respond to Tara Reade's comments about you sexually harassing her? No one's asked him that. They asked the president 1,000, probably, if you had a counter, there would probably be on all media, multiplied on social media, millions of times. They must have came out and asked what his thoughts are on this stripper or porn star, all this other stuff. And now this woman is suddenly not to be believed.
It's John. Literally only conservative channels like Newsmax, like you, who are bringing this to life. No one is touching it, John. CNN, Anderson Cooper doesn't want to talk about Tara Reade, nor does Chris Cuomo want to talk about Tara Reade. It's pretty much just you, John. I mean, I don't know what's so scary about Tara Reade talking about sexual allegations against Joe Biden. I guess it's an election year and they just want to cover it up. I guess they assume that all, news channels will just follow suit and just keep this as a hush hush. I'm not sure anymore what the liberal media wants to cover this,
It's
but it's
weird.
not
It's
fair.
weird.
It's not right.
What about, with the Harvey Weinstein and the whole Me Too movement that every woman is to be heard? Correct. Okay?
And that's what I'm
Believe.
saying. And I thank God for you, John, that you want to have this on because I don't know why Anderson Cooper is afraid of putting this on or why, Chris Cuomo, what's wrong with, they did it with Trump 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. With Kavanaugh, we couldn't hear enough of it. But now it's Joe Biden's turn. We need to hear it as well. Tara Reade needs to speak up and the liberal media needs to get a hold of this and we need to get to the bottom of this.
It's really crazy how there could be such a double standard, and I'm not weighing in either. I mean, I talked about it many times. I think men are also supposed to be, innocent until proven guilty, but there's no crime. So it's very, if it happened, it's reported. I mean, they forced Brett Kavanaugh to become a Supreme Court justice. They forced him to submit to an FBI investigation into his background back to high school, and that was to be a judge on the Supreme Court. It's another branch of our government if you want to be president, and this woman who's clearly credible and sane, as it appears, and there are records of her working for him, how come no one will actually ask about it? Even our own Republican senators who chair committees, why aren't they asking about it?
It's unbelievable because they really want Joe Biden to get some edge over Trump. You know, they want to have President Trump look like a womanizer and Joe Biden looks like a family man. And unfortunately, the Tara Reid story is not going to let Joe Biden look like a family man. And I guess the Democratic Party, they're terrified. But, you know, Tara Reid, the people that are coming out to, you know, collaborate her, a lot of them are Democrats. So that's what I want Joe Biden to know. Like, these are not Republican people that are accusing him. These are people who are planning on voting for Joe Biden. But, you know, this is reality. He's got sexual allegations, and he's going to have to deal with it. He's going to have to come forward and talk. That's all we want to know. Joe, we want to know what happened.
Yeah, I saw Donald Trump Jr. on his social media put up a meme yesterday that said Joe Hayden, Hiden, like Joe, instead of Joe Biden, it said Joe Hayden, because he is like hiding out right now. And I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Hillary was in her best, she was in her Easter best in a, you know, lime green pantsuit. And Joe was literally nodding out on screen like this when she was talking. He was like falling asleep. He was like nodding out, literal. I'm not kidding. Did you see that?
It's unbelievable. And, you know, Hillary Clinton, I'm just wondering, why would she be endorsing Joe Biden now that the Tara Reid story is coming out? Shouldn't Hillary be like running for the hills? I mean, you know, first her husband was a womanizer, now she's endorsing Joe Biden. I mean, I just don't get this woman. I really don't.
It's crazy. Some people, some conspiracy theorists out there are saying she wants to be in the mix in case Joe has to drop out. They just slip her in. Or maybe she's trying to be vice president, and if anything happens to Joe, then she's president. You know, I don't know.
So I guess she doesn't really care that some woman is accusing Joe of some sexual allegation charges. Hillary cares that she's going to get some power.
Apparently not. Apparently she doesn't care, and she hasn't cared for some time, to be honest with you, because, you know, her husband, there were a lot of allegations about her husband, and for whatever, she forgave him, she accepted it, this, that. There are books out there that say that she was absolutely terrible towards accusers of her husband. So, you know, I guess it's in play for her. Or, you know, I don't know. You know, Alan Dershowitz has a great book out called Guilt by Accusation. And I think, you know, that's what's happening right now these days sometimes too. So I don't know what the answer is, but I wish the media would cover it fairly. Ask Joe some serious questions. Give him the same treatment Donald Trump got. And I think everything should be fine.
I know. I just don't see why is it that they're able to, you know, rat this down President Trump's throat when it was in 2016, but they're not ratting it down Joe Biden's throat. Somehow they're like, let's ease off this a bit. Let's let Tara Reid's story just die. Somehow we're just going to ignore it. Maybe we'll go away on its own. I don't know what they're hoping, but, you know, thank God for Newsmax. Thank God for John, you know. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to just keep this going because voters need to know, a lot of voters need to know that Joe Biden is not the family man that he's portraying himself to be, or he might not be. He might not be. He might not be.
Exactly.
That's more, I should say. He might not be.
These are all uncorroborated allegations. There have recently been some corroborating reports. You know, one is the alleged voice of her mom, one is a former neighbor, one is a former coworker. So there are close connections. But we see how it works out.
But this is good because I want Christians to recognize that God sent us two imperfect people for president. We've got President Trump, who's been married 3 times, and we've got Joe Biden now, who's got sexual allegations. So clearly, God put on earth two imperfect men to be presidents. So I don't see why Christians can't vote for President Trump, considering Joe Biden has a lot of dirt to go as well.
No, I think Christians overwhelmingly are voting for Donald Trump, but we'll see. The more important thing to me, Teisha, is I saw this guy Jonathan Carl today. He's the head of the White House Correspondents Association or something. He's got a book out. He was on Fox News, and he was saying that right before Trump got elected, he wrote a book, front row at the Trump show or something. He said right before Trump got elected, Eric Trump was at ABC and they said Trump was down 12, and he turned around and said, "Are you kidding me? You think my father's going to lose by 12? You don't know what you're talking about." And I think, when you're making a plea to Christians, I think many different church people I know and church groups and stuff have, some maybe over-exaggerated, but many people have said that divine intervention brought Trump at the exact time that he came around to keep some order. That's not necessarily the only thing I see. I think he had a great team, smart and agile, and, a lot of forces of the universe. But, I think Christians overwhelmingly will vote for Trump.
Praise God.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today, my friend. I appreciate it. I hope you and the family are staying cool and safe and out of the way of the corona. And hopefully we can...
Please, John, I have a copy of it. Can I show it? This is it,
sure,
right?
Sure.
Anybody can see it, but it's still available for sale on Amazon.com. I truly appreciate it.
Okay. I talked about the Trump must win before you came on. And again, she is an author. She's working on her next book right now, and she's part of our team right here at Liquid Lunch. Hopefully we'll be back in the studio soon.
Yes, John. Looking forward to seeing you soon.
All right. I'll see you, Teisha.
In the summer.
Thank you very much.
All right. God bless.
Teisha Powell. She's a great attorney, and she's a great commentator, too. She goes nuts sometimes.